when we made our debut album Death for Destruction, Victims of Zero, we didn't know how long it would take to finish the album on time. Um, so we started. Well, the band was originally formed as D.F.D demos in like late 2020, and then we made. Well, I made EPs myself with some of my friends, and from 2021 July, they're like Natural Poetries. And the EP was bad, really bad. It wasn't even an EP at all. It was like some demo tape that's like almost an hour long. Same with a podcast tape that released months later in November 14th, I think, in 2021, and that EP also sucked. However, it did write. Um, there was one or two songs that two or three songs I wrote that would later on become actual songs for the debut album. The rest, I mean, like they were very offbeat. So, and I didn't know that until like late 2024, but we'll talk about that later. Um, and then early 2022 came out, and we made the EP Levels, and I had another friend to work with, and the EP sucked again. Like the vocal production is very loud. At least there were layers of vocals. At least like I started learning about harmonization, layering, vocal. But I did it in the phone, so it's like I have to upload the video, then put that then in there, and it's pretty jarring if you ask me for the Rebels EP. Um, yeah, yeah, those EPs are mid or bad, or I don't know what you call it. Like, then I wrote tons of songs for the debut album. Originally, I did not. Well, D.F.D demos was originally called M Fast Day, but I didn't want the name to last, so it was Death for Destruction for a while, I believe. Though we had different names like such as Doom's Denial, DOOM, all that stuff. Then we landed on Death for Destruction, which later on became the name for our own debut album. Um, yeah, I wrote like songs like Believe Us, Memory, Extinct, Silence. Then like May 2022, I wrote a song called Broken Heart, which it originally was like a 3-4 minute song that was just happy talking about cows. I was like, what the hell? I had like an idea in my head, but it wasn't like it was switched to major mode, and I didn't want that, so I had to wait until I had a chance to write. I wrote lyrics and lyrics again to that song. Meanwhile, um, I wrote another song, Born, which got scrapped. Um, Cries was another one, which later on became a part of Aftermorrow, and then I wrote Aftermorrow. I wrote OMIDS. Too Shy is and LOVE and Uncanny are also songs written around early 2022. Um, what else? Uh, then I wrote Exploded, which later on became a demo for the fifth EP, but we're not talking about that. It was also the original name of the song Danger, which, as you'll know, Danger is the experimental song, which you haven't heard yet. So, yeah, when, um, so tracks, and I wrote Among the Shadows, which was originally inspired by Linkin Park's The Little Things Give It Away, but changed that, guys, because why the hell not? Then I wrote, Distance, like Keep My Distance, Break Me Down, which and End of the Universe, which and Chaos, which All those songs like Chaos, End of the Universe, Break Me Down, all became songs for the fourth EP, Evil is a Done. Evil is a Done was supposed to be a Victims of Zero. Well, we didn't know it was going to be called Victims of Zero yet, so I have more remember. So in August 28th, the fourth EP, Evil is a Done, was made and released. Though it also sucked, but it was at least an upgrade because, the music wasn't as jarring as the first three EPs, but it was still jarring, you know, if we know what I'm saying. Like, because the production wise, it's still bonkers, and, well, the quality was better, but not the music itself, let's just say that. Um, then, 2 months later, I did the Life trilogy or something, which had three EPs in each month. Like, for example, 28, somewhere in October 2022 was Disturbing Lies, which was a heavy album inspired by Slipknot's Iowa. So, and I got a bit cuckoo crazy in some songs. Like, mentally, it wasn't. It was like I was going crazy. And then in the centers when I experimented with a bit of electronic hip hop music or something, which still sucked, like because they were all out of beat. Then the acoustic EP, Calm as Death, which still sucked, but because most of the time the lyrics are improv and the vocals are just mumbling in the Calm as Death, and yeah, and then I wrote other songs as well. Uh, In February 2023, the Natural Poetry Volume 2 EP was released. It had better quality, but it still sucked in a way. A lot of collaborators on this one though. Um, yeah, then A Revolution War in June 2023, 2nd June, which was the same day as Avenged Sevenfold's Life is But a Dream and Foo Fighters' um, But Here We Are album, so I don't know what I'm saying. Well, I know what I'm saying, but then I wrote a couple more songs. Running is an example, which was written in 2022 as well. It was meant to be in the second album, but most of the second album became the fifth EP, so we scrapped it. Scrapped that. Running was there though, and later on became a song. Um, yeah, and from September 2022, I went to like a youth move. Well, there was a demo of Silence that was released, but it still sucked. But it was at least real a bit, like like it was an actual. There was actual drums, there was guitar, and my vocals, and it was still bonkers. But at least it was like a jam session, like nothing serious and all that stuff, like just having fun, I guess. And and that demo was called Trying. So yeah. Then Then after that, I pretty much had Tomorrow's Gone, which was originally supposed to be the third album, but then became the 10th EP. God damn, I have lots of EPs. So yeah, it was the 10th EP, and it was released in November of 2023. It had better production, I guess, but the music still sucked. So well, it was ambitious for sure, but it was still bad. Like, the mix was a bit jarring, just like a Revolution War, and maybe a Natural Poetry's Volume 2. Um, yeah, and then in like September 2023, by the way, I went to my first college after I successfully done GCSEs and all that stuff in my secondary school. Made some friends there. Some I had to say goodbye to from the previous school year, so yeah, had some fun, and we done a lot of. Then I started doing all of the demos for each songs. I written Dead Cells, which one of my friends from my secondary school came up with the title. Same with another song, which was called No One Asked, but No One Asked wasn't used yet. So In the Middle was also another one of those songs that came up from, like, the title came from one of my friends. Another one of my friends also came up with a song title named Cucumbers.
Something colder if the night
And
is
then
too
later on, Look at Yourself was used for the first
hard.
debut
I
album.
would run with you through ash and
The
dark
debut
within
album was
your
then called Death by Destruction, like
silence.
it was
I
a
will
self-titled thing because Death by
never
Destruction became the title
fool
of the band
you.
by during that point.
Sunrise to the
And
heat and
yeah,
haze. I can see
there
you,
was,
but the
and then No
sky has
became a song.
turned to
Like
flames
all
with
those
visions of
songs,
smoke and
I started
pain.
the YouTube channel of the band's channel in 2023, in the beginning of 2023, and I originally had a guitarist named Destroy, whose stage name is Destroyer. I may not say his real name because I don't want to dox anyone, I guess. But Destroyer was the lead guitarist of the band, and it was just me and him basically. And he wrote tons of riffs, though most of the time the production was so bad that I didn't even know what he was playing. Mainly because we didn't have like a amp. Well, we had an amp, but we didn't know how to connect the amp to the logic. We didn't know about tempo. We didn't know about pretty much stuff. And yeah, let's just say, yeah, I got a guitar in like middle of 2021, an acoustic guitar. Then 2022 or 2023, I got, actually 2022 in August, I got another guitar. Then late recently, for some, like last month, I believe I got the red guitar, which is right next to me, but I won't show you that yet because, well, I may not show you ever right in this video because we're talking about something, because I'm talking about something else. And well, um, okay, what did I miss talk about? Oh yeah, originally for the track Seventh, I was about to come up with a country-esque song, like grungy song, like during early 2024, there were stages like, for example, I would write 66, like Route 66, to make a Cars 4 kind of song. I guess if Cars 4 ever to come out, I wrote a country song. But it wasn't worth it because it didn't feel fit with the rest of the album, despite even when the album gets a bit experimental a bit. Um, Better D.A.D. Bombs Away was also written in the beginning of in late 2022. Same with maybe D.A.D. Well, D.A.D. was written during the between 2020, like in the middle, like July I think of 2022. Destroyed was a song written later on, like 2023 ish or something. I don't know. Then the Suffering was written in 2020 or late 2022, I guess, or 2023. Then um, Years Ago was written in late 2023. Made a demo of it, and it was very, yeah. I remember when I wrote Running, and the lyrics were really dark, though it wasn't like good lyrics, but the lyrics were apparently like, it was like Weezer-esque. Like back then, my writing was like Weezer-esque writing, and some of them may still be Weezer-esque writing, if you know what I mean. Like I would randomly throw a word like, I don't know, like maybe it's an Anthony Kiedis styled writing. I don't know what the hell was my writing back then. Like I just randomly rhymed with some words and trying to get the point across, but the words came out wrong, I guess. So sometimes, most of the time, um, yeah. Later on during the when um, and then during 2023 December, I made released the 11th EP, which was called Different Time, which pretty much was one of the most successful EPs because it was an introspective EP, but it still sucked. So 3 months later, I released the Moron EP, and between February and it got rough during the first 4 months. Pretty much the first 6 months of 2024, it got rough. Like as it got on, I was like done mistakes that I shouldn't have done, and got so depressed of it, thinking about it, that I pretty much made one few of my friends from college just abandon me from my mistakes, and I betrayed them. I know that, but like I didn't want to betray them at all. I just went crazy. Like there are times when I believe somebody's like even though it's not happening, I believe somebody is talking bad stuff behind my back, even though they technically kind of are. But I had a strange feeling like when I heard Pink Floyd's The Wall, something clicked in my head that wasn't supposed to be right. And also I wrote the song for Future during early 2023 when it was snowing at one point. And then I got ill. Da da da. Then I wrote Death Destruction itself, and I wrote the interlude between Among the Shadows that comes before Among the Shadows. I know its name, but I don't want to risk saying it because it's not a bad word necessarily, but it's complicated because it's in. Okay, this actual song title is called "The Imported Memorial." That's the actual title. It's just in three different languages. Like first word's in Polish, the second word's in Ukrainian or Armenian, and the third word is Armenian or Ukrainian or something. Um, yeah, like then I wrote the Deep Speed, and then Dead Cells was pretty much written. What else was written? To Be Reborn in This Rock was written in like late 2022. So yeah, and when I made that mistake, all the lyrics for that one song, Broken Heart, came together. So it was like a puzzle. Like 1 month later, after March, I released the Outside the Simulation EP, and it was getting noticeably least popular for my EPs. Then 1 month later is Rise and Perform. I released Rise and Perform. It kind of sucked. Um, in fact, all my EPs suck, so don't bother checking them out. Well, you may check them out because there are some ideas that were good, but executed horribly, I would say. Released, oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I released two EPs of compilation EPs of well, like B sides, outtakes from in January 2023, and then I released the second version in 2024 June. So there's that. I forgot the names of these, by the way. So who knows? Um, my vocals aren't like professionally trained. I learned some vocal types like screaming and singing from a fellow YouTuber, Chris Leap, who's pretty much helpful with my singing, although I never have taken actual lessons with him. I just watch and learn kind of that stuff. That basically I watch and listen and learn and try to get my own voice to sound not like them, but like you know properly like my own. Trying to find my own voice and eh, it's it may not be like the most talented voice ever, but it could go somewhere if I had training. So you know. What was I supposed to say?
My guardian whispers no. Every path ahead is wrapped in smoke. You forget the moments we once chased, now memories fade without a trace. If we veer off course, we'll shatter the pulse, the rhythm we love. Yeah. As you sit in your car, something colder than light is tearing us apart. Wait.
Then I left my first college and applied for a second college. In fact, I even applied for a second college, even like in the start of the first college, because I got good grades from my GCSEs and all that stuff. So, and when I went to the second college, I have managed to. I sucked in music a bit. Like I was just doing random stuff randomly. Well, I did do good grades in like past my distraction. I did great in my college years, in my second college year of music. Though I didn't do music properly yet until December 2024. In between September 2020, I released the so far second to last EP. The last EP isn't even released yet. The second to last EP was also an ambitious EP, same with the Outside the Simulation EP. The Moron EP was pretty much like grunge and punk rock, like Nimrod esque, Green Day Nimrod esque kind of EP with Foo Fighters and Nirvana and a bit of Avenged Sevenfold influences in it. So as I was saying, a bit of Green Day's Nimrod and Insomniac, whilst a bit of Avenged Sevenfold and Foo Fighters and Pearl Jam and Nirvana influences in the Moron EP, whilst Different Town had influences of mostly Foo Fighters and maybe a bit of Avenged Sevenfold and The Offspring as well, etc. etc. And that was for like basically the inspiration for the second to last EP was which was Awaken the Rejected was basically mixed with the music of The Wall by Pink Floyd and Avenged Sevenfold's Nightmare and a bit of City of Evil by Avenged Sevenfold and merged it together to make that EP and it still sucked. Like the music was at least produced slightly better, but the mixing was still weird and yeah, I promoted the EP and then somehow I got cyberbullied for it. Like the cyberbully was actually one of my classmates from my first college. And as I was saying, um, yeah. After that, like during 2024 December, I learned how to make music properly with like chords and stuff, using them and properly playing them while producing great music. Now, like February 2025 is when I got better and better and better. 2020, yeah, and then during almost April 2025, that's when everything started to go together. I pretty much, and the album was done, and I recorded for like 3 months, I guess, 4 months because of the B sides as well. Yeah, and was complete, mixed and mastered. All of them was mixed and mastered during August, which the college was already ended, but I had a laptop, thankfully. So yeah, then everything went in the right place. And also the fact that the band was later called Victor Zazur in March 2025. So yeah, and I got band members and all the D.F.D demos members, but not really members, but still, they, yeah, they were just collaborators. But yeah, um, Destroyer left the band, and like when recording finished in 2023, like July 20 July 2024. I meant, but like yeah, it was all done. So and the album, we'll see about the album if it's successful or not. It's better than every EP I've made, better than the demos of the album, because it's on beat, everything is perfect, other than my vocals and production. Production may be rough depending on how you hear it. If you're a professional producer, you would know what I mean a bit. Like if you're or if you're a professional producer or mastering person or engineer or mixer, you know what I mean when I say the album kind of gets rough. Vocally, yeah, it's getting better a bit, but The reason why I got bullied in the Reddit was by that person was because of my voice and the music. The music got better, but my voice is getting better a bit, but I still need training, so please don't hate on my voice in the album at all. Please don't let those. Hopefully, there's no people that would bully me for my voice or something. So yeah, thanks for watching. This is Brains from Victims of Zero, and see ya sometime, I guess. And hopefully, we'll start touring soon. Probably, yeah. Yeah. Bye bye.